Life is not fair. This sentence is a reality that we all have to face at some point. However, the real question is, how can we remain strong in an unfair world? Sometimes life comes at us like a storm. Events beyond our control can shatter our dreams and make us feel helpless. It is at this point that Stoic philosophy comes into play. Stoicism is a system of thought that has emerged from some of the most resilient and wise minds in human history. Great philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca have been calling out to us from thousands of years ago to teach us how to remain strong in the face of life's injustices. Stoicism is not just a philosophy. It is also a way of life. It teaches us how to respond to events we cannot control, how to maintain our inner peace, and how to remain a virtuous person even in the toughest moments of life. Stoics tell us that we should not expect life to be fair. Instead, we should learn how to empower ourselves against this injustice. Today, we will delve into the depths of Stoic philosophy. In this video, you will learn how to discover the power of Stoicism through a real-life story, the fundamental principles of Stoicism, and how they can be applied in modern life, and most importantly, how to remain strong in an unfair world. Are you ready to build a mental shield against the injustices of life? Then let's embark on this journey together. The 60s Anno Domini, one of the glorious yet tumultuous periods of the Roman Empire. The hero of this story is a man who was born a slave, but has gone down in history as a philosopher. Epictetus. Epictetus found himself in a world filled with challenges he could not control. He was born a slave. Freedom was just a dream for him. His master was a cruel man, and one day he broke Epictetus's leg, leaving him with a permanent disability. The pain was unbearable, but Epictetus's reaction was very different from that of an ordinary person. In that moment, he said something that would demonstrate the power of Stoic philosophy to the whole world. I knew he would break my leg. And here it is, broken. These words may seem simple on the surface, but in fact, they form the foundation of Stoic thought, accepting what we cannot control. Epictetus could not prevent his leg from being broken. However, how he responded to the pain was entirely within his control. He shifted his focus from the external world to his internal world. And thus, even though he was physically a slave, he became a mentally free man. Epictetus's life helps us understand that Stoicism is a way of life. Instead of succumbing to the injustices of life, he saw this injustice as an opportunity to develop his mental strength. In the face of difficulties, he chose to ask, "Why did this happen to me?" instead of, "What can this situation teach me?" And this choice made him one of the wisest people in history. The story of Epictetus teaches us this. Not everything that happens to us in life is within our control. However, how we respond to these events is entirely up to us. This is one of the most fundamental principles of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. That is, focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Life will not always be fair. However, this does not prevent us from developing a strong mind and solid character. The story of Epictetus reminds us, challenges are not meant to break us, but to strengthen us. And this strength comes not from the external world, but from our internal world. Epictetus may have been born a slave, but he lived as a mentally free man. What about you? How will you defend your mental freedom against the injustices of life? To cope with the injustices of life, we first need to understand the fundamental principles of Stoicism. Stoics believe in the order of the universe and argue that as part of this order, humans should lead a virtuous life. But what is virtue? And how can this virtue help us in the face of life's injustices? At the core of Stoicism lie three major ideas: the importance of virtue, the dichotomy of control, and living in harmony with nature. Let's examine these in turn. The importance of virtue. For Stoics, virtue was the highest value in life. According to them, happiness arises not from external conditions, but from living a virtuous life. So, what does virtue mean? Stoics base virtue on four fundamental principles: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom is the ability to distinguish right from wrong. Courage is not backing down in the face of difficulties and not giving up on doing what is right. Justice is being honest and fair towards others. Temperance is the art of controlling our desires and avoiding excesses. Stoics say, if you can integrate these four virtues into your life, the chaos of the external world will not affect you. Because true happiness is found not in the external world, but within your inner world, the dichotomy of control. Perhaps the most powerful tool of Stoic philosophy is the concept of the dichotomy of control. This idea categorizes the events in our lives into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot control. What are the things we can control? Our thoughts, emotions, reactions, and actions. These are our responsibilities. However, things like the weather, the behavior of others, the past, or the future are beyond our control. Stoics say we should focus our energy on the things we can control rather than wasting it on things we cannot control. This is the key to mental peace, because trying to change something you cannot control only wears you out. But improving the things within your control makes you a stronger person. Think of life as a ship journey. You cannot change the direction of the wind, but how you adjust your sails is entirely up to you. Stoics choose to adjust their sails in the best way. Instead of blaming the wind, living in harmony with nature, Stoics argue that humans are part of the universe and should live in harmony with this universal order. This does not mean fatalism. On the contrary, Stoics teach that accepting the workings of nature is a way to achieve inner peace. For example, a tree bends with the wind when it blows. It does not resist, because this is how nature works. Similarly, humans should learn to accept the challenges life brings instead of resisting them, and live in harmony with those challenges. This is not passive surrender, but active acceptance. It means moving with the flow of life rather than fighting against it. Applying Stoic principles in modern life. Now, let's look at how these principles can be applied in modern life. Suppose you faced injustice at work. Maybe you were expecting a promotion, but someone else got it. How would a Stoic approach this situation? First, remember the dichotomy of control. You cannot control the promotion decision, but you can control how you react to this situation. Instead of anger and frustration, you can see this situation as a learning opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve? Second, focus on the virtues. Can you remain just even in an unfair situation? Can you maintain your courage in the face of difficulties? Can you respond in a temperate manner? If you can achieve this, the injustices of the external world will not break you. Stoicism serves as a shield against the injustices of life. But to don this shield, you must first undergo a mental transformation. So, how will we achieve this transformation? In the next section, we will delve into the depths of Stoic practices. Stoicism is not just a system of thought, but also a practice of life. However, to understand and integrate this practice into our lives, we need to examine three fundamental practices that Stoics often emphasize: awareness, self-discipline, and acceptance. These three practices are the key to enhancing our mental resilience against the injustices of life. Awareness, the art of managing your mind, Stoic philosophers view awareness as the cornerstone of mental peace. Marcus Aurelius states, "The content of your mind determines the quality of your life." This emphasizes the importance of being aware of our thoughts and emotions and managing them. In the modern world, awareness is often associated with meditation. However, for Stoics, awareness means being alert at every moment. In the chaos of daily life, it's easy to lose control of your mind. For example, when someone unjustly yells at you, your first reaction might be anger. But with a Stoic approach, you take a step back before succumbing to this feeling and ask yourself, how do I want to respond to this situation? Does this anger serve me? Think of your mind as a garden. If you are careless, weeds, which represent negative thoughts, will grow rapidly. But if you regularly tend to your garden, beautiful flowers will flourish. Stoic awareness is the way to keep this garden well maintained. Self-discipline. Building a strong mind. Stoics believe that having a strong mind in the face of difficulties is possible through self-discipline. Epictetus says, "Difficulties are tests that strengthen your spirit." Self-discipline means not allowing our emotions and desires to control us. For example, consider a situation we often encounter in modern life, getting drawn into a debate on social media. When someone targets you with a provocative comment, your first reaction might be to respond in anger. But with a Stoic mindset, you ask yourself, does engaging in this debate serve my virtues? Or am I just trying to satisfy my ego? Self-discipline applies not only in the face of major challenges, but also in the small moments of daily life. Waking up early, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, avoiding unnecessary expenses. All of these are examples of Stoic self-discipline. Because Stoics know that small habits create a great character, acceptance, making peace with the flow of life, perhaps one of the most challenging yet powerful practices of Stoic philosophy, is acceptance. Acceptance is not passive surrender, but an active understanding. Some things in life are beyond our control. Accepting this reality opens the door to mental peace. Marcus Aurelius states, "Everything that has happened as it should." This may seem like fatalism. However, what Stoics mean is understanding the natural flow of life and living in harmony with that flow. For instance, suppose you had a job interview you had been dreaming of for a long time, but it went poorly and you didn't get the job. Your first reaction might be disappointment, but from a Stoic perspective, you can reframe this situation. Perhaps it opens the door to a better opportunity for you. Or maybe this experience teaches you to prepare better. Acceptance allows us to see the lessons life offers us. Contradictions and misunderstandings. Stoicism is often a misunderstood philosophy. Some people think Stoics are emotionless or cold. However, this is a significant misconception. Stoics do not advocate suppressing emotions. Instead, they teach understanding emotions and managing them constructively. Another misunderstanding is the belief that Stoicism is fatalism. While Stoics accept the aspects of life that are beyond our control, they advocate actively striving in areas we can control. Thus, Stoicism is not a philosophy of surrender, but one of empowerment. Real-life examples. How can we apply Stoic principles in modern life? Here are a few examples. When stuck in traffic, remember the dichotomy of control. You cannot control the traffic, but you can control how you perceive the situation. Perhaps you can use this time to listen to an audiobook. When you make a mistake at work, view it as a learning opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? When a friend or family member disappoints you, focus on controlling your reactions rather than their behavior. Responding fairly and temperately is a Stoic virtue. Awareness, self-discipline. and acceptance. These three Stoic practices are the keys to finding mental peace in the chaos of life. But these practices should not remain theoretical. In the next section, we will focus on practical steps to integrate them into your daily life. We have now understood the fundamental principles of Stoicism and how to create a mental shield against the injustices of life. But knowing is not enough. What truly matters is how we integrate this knowledge into our daily lives. Stoic philosophers argue that turning theory into practice is the key to a virtuous life. So, how do we do this? 1. Morning routines. Build a mental shield. Stoic philosophers believed in the importance of mental preparation before starting the day. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself each morning, "Today, I will encounter selfish, ignorant, arrogant, and unjust people, but their behavior will not affect my virtues." You can start your day similarly. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself these questions. What challenges might I face today? How do I want to respond to these challenges? Which virtues will I focus on? This simple yet powerful habit prepares you mentally for the day ahead. You become more resilient in the face of life's challenges. 2. Evening routines. Reflect on the day. Stoics placed great importance on self-evaluation at the end of the day. Epictetus recommended asking the following questions every evening. Were the things I thought, said, and did today virtuous? Is there something I could have done better? Did I waste too much energy on things I cannot control? This kind of self-evaluation allows you to analyze your day while helping you prepare more consciously for the next day. You learn to see your mistakes not as burdens, but as learning opportunities. 3. Practicing the dichotomy of control. The dichotomy of control is one of the most powerful tools of Stoicism. However, you must make a conscious effort to incorporate this concept into your life. Here's an exercise. Take a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. In the left column, write down the things you cannot control. For example, the weather, traffic, the behavior of others. In the right column, write down the things you can control. For example, your thoughts, your reactions, your actions. Review this list every day. By focusing your energy on the items in the right column, you can enhance your mental peace. 4. Negative visualization. Preparing for challenges. Stoics believed in the importance of being prepared for life's uncertainties. Therefore, they used a technique called negative visualization, which means mentally rehearsing a negative situation. For example, if you are preparing for a job interview, ask yourself, what will I do if the interview goes poorly? How will I react if I don't get the expected outcome? This technique prepares you for possible disappointments. When you encounter a negative situation, you can handle it more calmly. 5. Pause practice to manage your emotions. Stoics argue that we should not allow our emotions to control us. However, this does not mean suppressing emotions. On the contrary, it means understanding them and managing them constructively. The next time you feel angry or disappointed, try to take a pause instead of reacting immediately. Ask yourself these questions. Where is this emotion coming from? Will acting on this emotion benefit me in the long run? What would a more virtuous response look like? This simple pause prevents your emotions from controlling you and allows you to respond more consciously. 6. The habit of gratitude. Focus on what you have. Stoics often remind us that life is transient and we should appreciate what we have. Marcus Aurelius says, "What you have today may be taken from you tomorrow." This is said not to frighten us, but to enhance our sense of gratitude. Every day, take a few minutes to be thankful for 3 things you have. This helps shift your focus from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude helps you maintain your inner peace, even when faced with unfair situations in life. 7. Surround yourself with reminders to integrate Stoic principles into your life. Surround yourself with reminders of this philosophy. For example, keep Marcus Aurelius's Meditations by your bedside. Add Stoic quotes to your daily notes. Set a reminder on your phone, such as, focus on what you can control. These small reminders help make Stoic thought a part of your daily life. Integrating Stoic philosophy into your life is not a transformation that happens overnight. It requires continuous practice and determination. However, as you progress on this path, you can become a stronger, more peaceful, and more virtuous person against the injustices of life. Remember, Stoicism is not about striving for perfection, but focusing on growth. With small steps every day, you can build a stronger mental shield. So, what will be the first step you take on this path? Today,